ajọ ihe ka iwe du anyị n'ụzọ ile nke ezi omume gị ka iwe wezugara anyị ọrịa niile nke pụrụ ịdakwasị mmadụ dị ndụ n'ihi na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye na-agwọ ọrịa ka anyị wee na-akpọkụ gị onwe gị bụ sinele nke ndị agha ka iwe mere anyị ebere ka akwa nke anyị na-ebe ka ude nke anyị na-asụ wee bịa n'iru gị ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee guzosi ike ka anyị wee n'ikpete maazị nye ha sọgụtụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi ise.
Welcome, my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're connecting from. If you are joining me from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, from America, from Australia, I thank you very much for your contributions on the channel. Thank you for all your comments on the comment section. I really do appreciate you. Please keep on commenting and giving your own opinion on the situation. That is the only way we can be able to sustain ourselves and be able to move forward and find a lasting solution to the problem that we are all facing. For those who have not yet subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. And when you receive the video after watching, share with other people. Share in your groups. Share with people who need to get the information. As I always say, we have to tell our story. We have to try as much as possible to tell our story. Don't allow other people to tell your story, because they will never tell it the way it's going to favor you, and they will never tell the truth. It is only you and you alone that know the true story about yourself. So it is time for us to begin to tell our stories and stop allowing people to tell our stories. The Westerners are telling our stories in a wrong form. People are telling our stories in a wrong form, telling a lot of lies. But today, thank God for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has come to lead the cause on revealing the truth. And we are now speaking out and revealing the truth from all angles. They cannot continue to lie to us and continue to tell lies against us while we are still alive and living, and people are silent. Thank God Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has broken that silence. Nobody's being silenced anymore. People are no longer being silent. People are speaking up from all angles. Not just the Biafrans, the Odudua are speaking up, the Middle Beltans are speaking up. Even in the north, some people are speaking up because someone rose and challenged that very authority that is holding us down. And the challenge has been working very, very effectively. For those who do not know, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has done a great job of awakening a lot of people in that contraption called Nigeria is awake. Odudua can never be held captive anymore. Oduduas can never be deceived anymore. Oduduas can never be used anymore. They are now standing tall and fighting for a nation of their own, defending their land from the contraption called Nigeria and from the Janjaweed from the north, the Fulanis. The same way the Biafrans, you know Biafrans, they have been always in the front of the fight. They have always been leading the fight in the cause of Nigeria, where Nigeria is destroying the life of people. The Biafrans has always been in the front to fight this battle and make sure that people are liberated and people get their freedom. We cannot be silent. That is why we have to be talking, more especially the Biafrans and the Oduduas. Keep on talking. The southern part of Nigeria, these are the educated part of Nigeria. These are the people that want freedom. These are people who love others and want people to associate in a peaceful manner. But the contraction of Nigeria is forcing us to be silent and making us not to know whom we are, trying to force us into what we do not agree to. We cannot be silent. We cannot be silent, no matter how they pretend. Since Buhari came into power, we have seen everything has been unraveling so fast. So many things that have been done in secret these days are no longer done in secret. We can now see clearly that the Fulani Janjaweed have an agenda, and the only agenda they have is to impoverish anybody, to steal land. Whatever you think they are giving to you is an exchange for your land. Whatever you think that the Fulani Janjaweed are giving to you through Mohammadu Buhari is an exchange for your life. An exchange for your life. Give and take. They give you and they take your life. That is what they are doing. That is exactly what Buhari has been doing since he came to power. He has deceived a lot of people, and some people think that actually he is for them. It doesn't matter the party you belong to. You might be APC, you might be PDP, you might be whatever you call yourself. So long you are still participating in the Nigerian politics, you are a slave and you remain a slave. And you are selling your birthright, selling your unborn children to these Fulani Janjaweed to become slave to them. That is what it means. They can never give you any gift that will benefit you. They can never. You can see Mohammadu Buhari when he came and he said he was trying to recognize June 12th and made June 12th a democracy day for Nigeria. What happened on the June 12th? on the June 12th, when people came to protest and talk about the situation of Nigeria, that it is not favorable to them, what happened? The man that told you that June 12th was a democracy day sent his armies and military soldiers everywhere to make sure that people do not protest. A lot of people were arrested. A lot of people were injured. Thank God that people were able to protect themselves and they were not able to lose their life. Maybe they might have killed so many people which they will never bring to your notice, because we know what they can do. On that very June 12th, you saw what happened. He deceived the Southerners and told us he was trying to give us June 12th. He wanted to recognize June 12th as a democracy day. He wanted to recognize Abiola as a former president of Nigeria, that Abiola legitimately won the election. All these were just give and take. All these were just deceit. Deceit. He recognized Abiola and recognized so many people. And out of his wickedness, as you all know, I don't know what these people have against the Igbos. The very person that conducted that election, June 12th, that we are talking about, was an Igbo man. The person that conducted that election and called the result of that election against all odds was not recognized. His name was never mentioned. He wasn't recognized. He was never recognized. The very person that called the result of that election against all odds, is an Igbo man. They tried to hold him down. Nobody spoke anything about him. But eventually, I thank God that some people in that very meeting on that very day that we are inaugurating that very June 12th, whatever, somebody there recognized what was happening, that this was just a devilish act. This was just a pretense and nothing else. I'm going to play with you a very short video of the comment that Wole Soyinka made during that very day they were inaugurating that very, what do they call it, the June 12th. I will play the video for you to see that this Mohammadu Buhari has nothing to offer. The Fulani Janjaweed have nothing to offer you. Whatever you think they are giving to you, they are giving it in exchange for your life, in exchange for your freedom, in exchange for your land, in exchange for what belongs to you. Watch the video.
However, I would like to make a request, Mr. President, since we are honoring heroes of democracy today. I'd like to make a request that you manage to stop creating confusion in the minds of Nigerians. It is not possible to honor MKO Abiola in one breath and then admire his tormentor in another breath. Loyalty is all very well, but loyalty can become perverse if that loyalty is retained to an individual who, if he were alive today, would be before the International Court of Crimes against Humanity. One who broke the laws of Nigeria, who broke international law, pauperized this nation, committed crimes against humanity. It is confusing if loyalty, professional loyalty, is carried so far as to be accorded such an individual. We had a private conversation, thank you so much for that privilege, some time ago. I remember one of the things which I mentioned to you was this. I said, you're fighting corruption. How come it that a notorious corrupt ruler is honored by one of the most important avenues in the capital, Abuja, whereas individuals like the martyrs of the struggle, the philanthropists of the nation have not been honored? The answer which you gave to me was not too satisfactory, but I let it pass. Today, perhaps, is also a day to inaugurate our Hall of Shame. So that we have a Hall of Heroes on one hand, we also have a Hall of Shame as a lesson to future generations. But the apology has been most touching. On behalf of the Nigerian people, accept it. Accept And I'm sure that most Nigerians will agree with me. It's a beginning. I do not agree that this is closure to the events of June 12th. There are far too many traumatized individuals walking around the streets, terrorized individuals as a result of the policies and the attitude of one of the most brutal dictators that this nation, if not the most brutal, in fact, the most brutal dictator that this nation has ever known. Closure will come by responding to those traumatized individuals, the victims of unspeakable tortures, some of whom were compelled even to watch their beloved ones being tortured on behalf of a man who was determined not just to demonize, to dominate his environment, but to dehumanize that environment. All that is left to me, because much has been said today, which has covered much of the grounds I wanted to cover. All that is left to me is to plead that we do not forget the nameless, the unsung heroes and heroines of that struggle.
After watching, you can see obviously that the gift of the June 12 is nothing but a charade, it's just a deceit. How can you be honoring June 12? Meanwhile, the person that destroyed that very June 12, the person that the world recognized as the most corrupt person in that world, is being honored in Abuja. He is being honored. Meanwhile, the patriotic men in that very country are not honored. That is the situation of Nigeria. The good people are forgotten. The good people are left on the background, while the evil men prosper. The evil men are being promoted. Being promoted. You see their name written everywhere in Nigeria. See their name written everywhere. All those people you see their name written in the popular places, you see them, they are the most destructive people. They are the people that destroyed that contraction called Nigeria. They are the people that destroyed that contraction called Nigeria. But you see them being celebrated, you see their name placed everywhere. It is sad. This is the situation of one ourselves, but we cannot be silent and we cannot continue in this direction. We can never continue in this direction. You saw the June 12th we are talking about, the statement he made that day. What do they call it? The speech the Mohammadu Buhari made on that very June 12th was full of lie. Full of lie, and you cannot expect anything from him apart from lies, because the foundation of that very contraption is built on lies. It has always been on lies, telling us about unity in diversity. Meanwhile, there is no unity in that very contraption. There is no unity. Even those who are preaching unity in diversity never believe in unity of that very contraption. They don't believe in it. But they keep on preaching lies every day. A foundation built on lies. How do you think that foundation will produce something good for you? He came out on his speech that day and he was telling us that he has taken 10.5 million people out of poverty in Nigeria. That you took 10.5 million people out of poverty. In what world? And people kept silent. People digested what he was saying. This was the lie he threw to the public in Nigeria. A country where you see the World Index showed us that more people have fallen into poverty in Nigeria more than ever. More than ever in that very contraption called Nigeria. He came and be telling us that he took out 8.5 people out of poverty. How did you take them out of poverty? How do you take? Is it by giving them 5,000? By giving them food? People, you say the school children you told us that you are feeding in their home, even while they were not going to school. Are they the people that you left out of poverty? Is it by the 5,000 or 10,000 you were giving them? Is it that you didn't even? How many people did you give the money? And how can 5,000 change the life of a person? How can 5,000 change the life of a person? He came and told us that he has removed. How within yourself as a normal human being, within yourself, you that you call yourself a one Nigerian, is a Nigerian. Can you tell me truthfully? Look to your family. Look in your own village, in your own local government. In your own local government, those people that you knew that are poor, how many of them were transformed from poverty to riches? In your own village, your own local government, check within yourself, your own, very close to you, the poor people very close to you, how many of them were transformed? In your own village, check within yourself, how many can you count? None, not even one. The only people that we are able to escape poverty in Nigeria are people who suffered to travel to abroad, either by sea or by any means possible. Not people who were being helped by their so-called government. And the World Index showed that more people have gotten into poverty. They didn't alleviate any poverty, but they come out every now and again to lie to the public. And the public seem to be digesting it. They seem to be digesting it. I would like you to watch this very video. This was the video that was made by iRise Television. You can hear from them how they analyze the issue of that very poverty index, so that you can be able to understand properly what is going on in that very contraption called Nigeria, that it is not well. Watch.
What's trending with reactions to President Mohammadu Buhari's address on Democracy Day? Many Nigerians have shared mixed reactions, especially with regards to the president's claim that his administration has lifted 10.5 million Nigerians out of poverty in the last 2 years. Let's take a quick playback before we take a reaction.
In the last 2 years, we lifted 10.5 million people out of poverty. Farmers, small-scale traders, artisans, market women, and the like. I am very convinced that this 100 million target can be met, and this informed the development of a national poverty reduction with growth strategy.
Let's take a comment from Arinze Chukwu, who wrote, "How could you have lifted 10.5 million Nigerians out of poverty while unemployment, inflation, and insecurity have displaced people and their businesses? The destruction of farmlands and killings of farmers are at their highest level ever." Buhari, mathematics is not an opinion. I mean, this is the rhetoric Tundu everywhere. But, you know, the president disclosed that his administration disbursed 5,000 naira to 1 million Nigerians using a rapid response register and an advanced 20,000 naira to 750,000 beneficiaries of the conditional cash transfer program, and provided 1.37 million Nigerians with palliatives from COVID. If you recall that. So a lot of Nigerians are asking, how is it how did that equate to 10.5 million Nigerians? I mean, we need to see the evidence.
It's a perfectly reasonable question to be asking. To go back to your tweet, opinion and fact are completely different. Right. It's actually quite staggering how many people don't seem to know that. But if we're looking at the World Poverty Clock statistics, and those are, verifiable, more Nigerians are living on less than $1.90 a day, and that is United Nations benchmark that's the definition of poverty. It used to be 2 years ago 77.9 million Nigerians, which is staggering in itself, and now 86.8 million as of this June, as of this month. 86.8 million Nigerians are living on less than $1.90 a day. It's such an injustice. And then we now look at the World Bank, which said a few years ago, 5 years ago, about 40%, we're hovering about the 40% mark of Nigerians living in poverty. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, it has risen to 45%. So I'm not sure where this 10 million naira claim, 10.5 million naira claim comes in. But I have to always sort of preface, well, I've already said that before, so it's not a preface, but I have to always say that I'm just personally very grateful that we're having this Democracy Day speech on June 12th at all. And the fact that the past injustices, the past history of this country, that dark chapter has been addressed, was like a healing balm to me personally. But our current day challenges must be addressed. Yes. We're not going to live life looking backwards. Just because I'm grateful for that nod to the past does not mean that the present and future challenges must not be addressed. We are a long way to go. I cannot believe I just said out of my mouth 86 million Nigerians are living in poverty. It's staggering.
Staggering. Dr. Bati.
Well, if you look at the efforts of the Buhari administration since 2015, poverty alleviation, poverty reduction have been one of the major hallmarks. And at every turn, both the president and his ministers talk about, alleviating poverty, either through the Economic Growth Recovery Plan or the National Social Investment Plan, or what they call poverty reduction through National Growth Strategy Plan. Okay, in the speech on June 12th, the president tried to provide details. And when he referred to the National Social Register, which was a strategy to document the poorest and most vulnerable households in Nigeria. That, of course, became controversial when it was rolled out in terms of coverage and in terms of how those palliatives were distributed. And then, of course, you have the conditional cash transfer plan under which people were given 5,000. And then you also had the plan by the National Ministry of Employment and Productivity, under which we saw the Minister of State for Labor distributing hoes and cutlasses and wheelbarrows as a way of, alleviating poverty with 20,000 per month for a period of 3 months. So in terms of that effort, that's what the president was referring to. But what people are querying is, okay, this number, 10.5 million people lifted out of poverty in the last 2 years. People do not believe it. And some researchers have gone ahead to do fact check what the president said. And what they have done is to benchmark it against the effect of COVID-19, which threw so many people out of job, with unemployment rate in Nigeria today at about 33.3%, with food inflation at 18.12%, with food inflation at 22.27%, headline inflation at 18.12%. Now, and then add to that the general insecurity in the country. So the argument is that 10.5 million is completely improbable, and that the evidence does not support what the president was saying. Now, the second point is that if you look at NBA statistics, even the Nigerian Bureau of the National Bureau of Statistics, the statistics from the Bureau of Statistics does not suggest that more people have been taken out of poverty. The World Bank, which Tunde mentioned earlier, says that for Nigeria to go out of poverty, right, your growth rate, your GDP growth rate must exceed your population growth rate. If Nigerian population is growing at about 2.73 to 3%, right, and you have inflation rate of 18.12%, unemployment rate of 33.3%, GDP growth of maybe 0.51% during Q1 2021. You cannot say that more people have been taken out of poverty. In fact, more people have gone into poverty, and which is the position of the World Poverty Clock, that since 2018, more Nigerians have slipped into extreme poverty. As Tuno said, people who live below $1.9, in the country. But in any case, beyond all of this, the evidence of our eyes shows that there is a raging epidemic of empty pockets and empty stomachs inside Nigeria. Okay? But in terms of aspiration, we cannot fault government. It's the eternal assignment of government to create wealth, prosperity, to provide the welfare for the people, and to make sure that an enabling environment is provided for people not only to be able to feed themselves, but also to be secure, to feel safe, and to have a sense of belonging. Poverty is a major crisis we face, and it is not surprising that we've been told that Nigeria has become the poverty capital of the world. We even displaced India in that regard and won a medal for poverty.
Won a medal for poverty. Rufai, your take on the story.
I was excited when you brought this story because I would like to jump on it. And let's do maths now. Let's not do sentiments. The World Bank has 3 thresholds. What we are missing is the fact that this is extreme poverty. The $1.90 a day, if you live on $1.90 a day, that means you are living in extreme poverty. There's another threshold that says $3.30 and a little over $5. So let's even say extreme poverty. Let's say, okay, let's Nigerians just going off extreme poverty mark. $1.90 a day, that's what you must earn. Multiply that by 500, which is the dollar, you get 950. Multiply that by 365 days in a year. I'll do the maths for you. An average Nigerian needs to earn, to just leave the level of extreme poverty, needs to earn 346,750 naira in a year. That's what an average Nigerian needs to earn to be able to be at the level of extreme poverty or go a little bit over extreme poverty. 346,750. Oji, I'll take you back 2 years ago. Nigeria Deposit Insurance Company did say that most Nigerians, only 2% of Nigerians have over 500,000 naira in their bank accounts. So if you are saying you need a Nigerian to earn 346,000 naira yearly to be out of extreme poverty rate. And NDIC is saying that the bank accounts they are saying, most Nigerians don't have up to 500,000. So how do you say you bring 10.5 million people out of poverty? The World Poverty Clock that Tundu quoted, and thank you, beautiful job Tundu for quoting that, says it all. 86 million people are in poverty, extreme poverty in Nigeria. But if you look down that sheet of World Poverty Clock, it puts a very instructive stats there that says rate at which you need to get off poverty. And it says Nigeria needs to get 0.3 people off poverty per minute. But what is the Nigerian current state? Nigeria has minus 4.2 people entering poverty per minute. So 4.2 people, we're supposed to get 0.3 people out of poverty per minute to be able to get off poverty. But Nigeria is putting 4.2 people into poverty every minute, according to the World Poverty Clock.io. These are the stats, these are the figures. I submit the hard evidence to anybody that said they have brought 10.5 million people out of poverty. One thing I'll tell you is that you can skew data, but facts don't lie. Mathematics is not sentiments.
It is not well in that contraction called Nigeria. It doesn't matter what you think or what you believe. Let them be speaking their grammar, but in a layman's language. Watching with a layman's language. Call home if you're not in Nigeria. Call people who are in Nigeria and ask them the cost of survival in Nigeria and see how they are surviving. If you are in Nigeria, look at your neighbor. If you are watching from Nigeria, look at your neighbors who are poor. Look at your neighbors. How are they surviving? Look at your neighbor. How many people have lost their job? Look around you. You will see people. How people have dropped. People who were even making a little bit better before, how they have dropped to zero. When you see the airport in Nigeria, go to the international airport in Nigeria, you see millions of people planning their way out, looking for a way to escape from that very contraption, looking for a way to escape. If the country was good, if you were taking people out of poverty, how can people be looking for a way to escape from your contraption? But every now and again, they came and begin to promote this lie. They promote this lie. They bring this lie without fear to the public. That is the only thing you can get from the Fulani Janjaweed. That's the only thing the Fulanis can offer you. And it doesn't matter how you pretend. It doesn't matter how you think. It will continue. If you continue to follow their election and continue to vote, it doesn't matter who comes there. Even if tomorrow you decide to make Igbo man your president, Nigeria will become worse than ever. Because the foundation of that very country was built on lie. Even if you decide to make an Igbo man a president tomorrow, Nigeria will become worse than ever. Make a Yoruba man a president, Nigeria will be worse than ever. Nigeria has no remedy. The only remedy of Nigeria is break up. Break up so that every region will start from the beginning to build themselves. To build themselves. Every region will start afresh to build themselves and have a foundation. A strong foundation built on truth. That is the only way the contraction can survive. The indigenous people of that contraction, that is how they can survive. That contraction contains a very good indigenous people, wonderful and hardworking people. But the lies that have been told, the captivity that they have placed people cannot allow them to survive. That is why we are crying every day and asking for the disintegration of that very contraption. Let it come to an end. Let there be a breakup so that people can live a normal life like humans. People can survive on their own. People can prosper on their own. That is what you are asking. And it is not too much to ask. It's not too much to ask. That is why we are saying that everybody should add their own voice. Add your voice wherever you are. Add your own voice. Use your platform to speak up on the situation of that contraption called Nigeria so that the people will be free. People will be free from this captivity. Thank God for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for he has educated a lot of people. He has passed a message that has sunk into the bone marrow of so many people in that very contraption. And today, people are speaking up. We will continue to speak. We will continue to speak until freedom is sure. We know that Biafra is here already. We are no longer worried. Biafra is here already, and we are praying that other ethnic groups or the other regions also will be free. That is our prayer and wishes, that everybody will have rights to live and survive. Thank you so much for watching wherever you're watching from. I appreciate you. Please continue to comment on the comment section. Continue to give your thumbs up and your contribution. It helps us to get better, and make your suggestions also. It makes us to get better. Thank you, and remember, blessed. Bye-bye. See you again on the next video.